there's an argument in the Gemara if we start with 8 candles and we go down every day.
Yeah, it's Beis Shammai.
Or that's Beis Shammai, or Beis Hillel will say it goes up. So Beis Shammai say, why does it go down? So it says Porei Hachag, like the oxen of Sukkot, of the holiday. So first of all, you already see a certain connection between Chanukah and Sukkot. That Beis Shammai say that it goes down because it should be like the oxen of Sukkot.
Right, when you slaughter an ox, it goes away.
No. Okay, that's a very good. I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. If you look at the sacrifices of Sukkot, the first day is 13, the second day is 12, the third day is 11, then 10, then 9, then 8, then 7. So he said, do it just like the oxen of Sukkot, that it goes down. The number gets diminished. Beis Hillel says no. In holiness, you have to always add. But when you think about it, what's the connection? Why should the candles have anything to do with the oxen of Sukkot? And one of the explanations to this is that the oxen that year, because of the turmoil in the temple, they weren't able to bring the oxen on Sukkot. So the first thing they did when they were victorious and took over the temple, they wanted to do something to commemorate those oxen that they didn't bring. You got the idea?
Yeah.
So that's the connection between Hanukkah and Sukkot. So going back to our Maimer, and I think this is very much connected to what Boaz just tried to say. He says that Hanukkah has something very special to it. There's a certain feeling that it's not Torah itself, it's culture, and one of the things that is actually proves Boaz's point is that you see a lot of secular Jews celebrate Hanukkah.
100%. They don't look at it as mitzvah or anything.
Right. They don't keep Shabbos. Some of them barely with Yom Kippur. But no, Yom Kippur is something stronger. Yeah, is deeper connected to the Jewish soul. When it comes to Hanukkah, every Jew. So the official excuse is because that's the holiday season with the ho ho ho. What's his name over there with the white beard?
Xmas.
Yeah, the Xmas with the
Santa.
Yeah.
You see that with the mall Santa's Jewish?
Yeah. That was a funny video of wrapping tefillin with Santa Claus.
Yeah.
The
You remember in New York the day when everyone dressed up like Santa? There's like Santas everywhere. They have every
Yeah. I remember with the snow, with it was a part of American culture. I grew up in a very frum neighborhood. There was still in Manhattan. There were windows with pictures of George Washington celebrating. It was not pictures, like miniatures. It was with snowflakes. It's like their dream should be a white kratzmach.
Right.
In Yiddish, instead of saying Xmas, it's like kratzmach. Kratzmach means scratch me. Yeah, it's just a play on the words. But and it's actually very interesting the difference between in kratzmach everybody gets each other gifts. Get kids gifts. That's why the custom is by us to give money.
Right.
It's a major distinction. Give money and also like point out to the kids the importance of giving tzedakah. So there's a major. It's an interesting thing. Some people are very careful only to give money, not to give gifts, because gifts is in the spirit of the season. A lot of people give gifts. We want to be different. There's a concept of giving Chanuka geld. Today the yeshiva is going to give everyone Chanuka geld. Make sure to stay here for that. The 5th day, everybody in the yeshiva is going to get Chanuka geld. Going back to what we so we see that the Jewish soul has a deeper connection to Hanukkah than sometimes to Torah itself. to Shabbos, kosher, or other things. And we know the Jewish soul, the collective Jewish soul, is not stupid. It's a mistake. Obviously, if you could keep Shabbos or keep Chanuka, you have to keep Shabbos. Yeah, Shabbos is a Torah law, Chanuka is rabbinical. Yeah, the Torah laws trump rabbinical laws, but it definitely says something about the power of the Yom Tov. And as we said, it's the last Yom Tov that the rabbis instituted before we left into exile, which signifies a certain understanding that the rabbis of blessed memory, they came up with a way to give us enough spiritual light in order to
uplift us.
In order to uplift us, very good. In order to uplift us during our darkest, deepest, our darkest times in exile.
There's no way they didn't know about that the scholars was going to continue to establish these things to keep us hopeful and reminded of what's to come. And
the Jewish situation was already in the dire situation. You had the
destruction of the temple.
No, that was still while the temple. It was towards the end of the second temple. But they were fighting the Greeks, and there's a lot of Hellenism, a lot of Jews frying out.
Yeah.
Actually, if you think about it, the war of Hanukkah doesn't make any sense for secular Jews to keep at all. What is Hanukkah? Hanukkah is the victory.
So the From Jews were beating the secular Jews.
Exactly. It was the From Jews took over from the Hellenistic Jews.
I think what was called Rabbi Kaplan said it best. He said it's literally if or was Rabbi Kaplan one said it's literally if a couple guys in Meir Sharon took up arms against the Jews of Tel Aviv and won.
Yeah, he said that already.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's a bit of a strong statement.
I think Rabbi was speaking about the Jewish people who fought for the Greeks.
The main thing why I think it's a bit of a strong statement is because the people in Tel Aviv already a few generations, they don't know.
No, yeah.
They don't really.
They're like
know.
Americans.
Yeah.
Except they're all Jewish.
I'd say they're better than Americans.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they know Hebrew and.
Yeah, they know more and they have more access, but still, the Rambam says that it's not enough that you have access. It's not even enough that you know. The Rambam says that if you go secular, even if you find out afterwards about Torah mitzvahs, it's very, very hard to hold someone like this accountable because he didn't grow up keeping it. So it's it's against their nature. It's
weird.
What?
You know, it's weird when you're Baal Tshuva and you come from a secular background. There's so many things in your way, like
it's because culture,
family, friends, it's crazy.
Family's a big one, yeah.
Yeah, his family's it's just it's worse for them than it is for you.
Yeah.
They're the ones who make it a big deal.
I'm too far gone.
Right. It depends which communities actually. For example, South Africa, they're very accepting when a child becomes from.
Right.
In America,
That's what I've
South
heard.
Africans.
I'm also South African. It's
It's hard for her.
the first time I said I was gonna go to yeshiva, she said, "Brendan, she's somebody by my guy shape." She said, "Brendan, you're taking things too far." Then she got on board with it. My grandpa always said that I was doing the right thing. He was where I grew up from, but he tried out. He wanted to surf. He didn't want to learn Torah.
And to serve in the Israeli army.
No, surf.
Surf.
He was a surfer. He didn't serve in the army. He actually was in the reserves for the South African army against Angola during the what was it? Cold War?
I don't know all the wars of the Boers.
Yeah.
So we see that we see that Hanukkah has a cultural aspect, and not only that, we see that the war was a cultural war. The Greeks got Hellenism into Judaism, and we also see that what we're really celebrating is not only the victory of the war. What are we celebrating? Candle lighting. What are candles? Candles are light. The whole celebration surrounds what? a jug of oil. And what's the problem? What's so special about that jug of oil?
It was sealed by the
It was
sealed
sealed.
the
It was kosher.
Hmm.
If it wouldn't have been sealed, it would have been impure. Impurity is not something really.
You can't benefit from it.
No, you could benefit from it. Just in the temple, they felt that it's not in the right. You should know, by the way, even according to halacha, you're allowed to light with non. If most of the people are impure, you're allowed to use it in the temple. They just felt their victory. A part of the victory was we got something pure. Purity and impurity is completely mystical. We're not talking about a victory on the land. We're not talking about any type of material victory. We're talking about a spiritual victory. It's about a pure jug of oil. Is there any difference between a pure jug of oil and a non-pure jug of oil when you look at the oil? No, it's something spiritual. Spiritual slash cultural slash mystical. That's the idea of light. And that's why Chanuka is really a celebration. It's quite different than Purim. Purim, it's a mitzvah to eat and drink. Why is it a mitzvah to eat and drink on Purim? Because Purim, it's a victory about the Jewish body.
Right.
So therefore, there's physical.
That's a victory of the Jewish body. Because Achashverosh just stuffed himself, or
No, because Haman wanted to kill all the Jews.
The Greeks also, no? Well, no, they also assimilated.
They just wanted us to stop believing in Jewish values. They just wanted us to be
That sounds
Hellenists.
common theme throughout history.
Some people want to kill us. It's like the Palestinians now don't really
Yeah,
care
they don't care
about our
about
culture.
beliefs. Yeah, they don't care about beliefs.
They just want to kill us. So like all the people they killed. Who did they kill? People partying
The Nova concert.
at a Nova concert. Could imagine that there was no machitzas at the Nova concert.
They didn't care what their beliefs were.
Yeah,
Just
what do you
they're
mean?
Jews.
Most of the people they killed were far leftists.
Yeah.
Exactly, they just went after the Jewish body. So tried to desecrate the Jewish body, put down the Jewish body. God forbid what they did. The world will never know because we for ourselves we don't want to traumatize our people.
It's tough.
What?
It's a tough conflict. It's tough.
But with the Greeks had no problem. They didn't even have a problem with us learning Torah. They had a problem with us learning Torah from a godly perspective. The Greeks were they were the Hellenists. They were very wise people. The wisdom of Torah didn't have any problem with. They had a problem with like things like purity, impurity. Like, what are you talking about? Whether something becomes impure because someone touched it, because he touched a dead body. Cut it. It's more about wisdom, being intellectual. They brought to the world some of the smartest people that ever existed. Aristotle, Plato, the whole school of Athens, they were all Greeks. And Hellenism was a very, very strong intellectual culture where people learned
It's
to
reason.
live a lot of reason and intelligence and pleasures and suddenly they were very against like Jewish things like circumcision. The Hellenists believed in the completion of the body. That's why they used to play sports naked.
Yeah, the Olympics.
What?
Smart. Just smart.
Oh, sorry, I made you. I did try. In our prayers. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, the Olympics, the original Olympics.
The original Olympics, but they used to play naked.
Yeah. And no women were allowed.
No women.
No women.
Why?
It was only the men. I think they actually believed. I think they believed it, but women couldn't be there because they were naked.
Ah, because the women can go naked.
Such
I
restraint.
guess they believed in modesty.
They were such big believers. I think that they believed that teachers should marry their students.
Really?
Yeah.
Nowadays in America, you go to jail for that.
Yeah, no, we're talking about big teachers. Like it's like the relation, physical relations is something. Is a deep connection. So what's the point? You're connecting to some woman. Connect to your student. That you're teaching him wisdom and philosophy. They had some weird, for us nowadays it look very weird, but they were very, very intelligent people, and therefore it's impossible that they should have any issue against learning Torah. When it comes, Torah is a very intelligent pursuit. Yeah, some of the best lawyers in the world say that what they learned in Gemara class or in Gemara Rashi Tosfos class, it's brilliant. The analytics, the analysis. So what the Greeks wanted was the culture, the light, the oil. Oil represents in Chassidus wisdom. Actually, our brain is mainly made out of fat. And that's why they say that having
Lipids.
olive oil.
Right.
What?
Lipids.
Lipids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Look, it's
Yeah.
fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they say olive oil or coconut oil. All these things are very good for your brain. Is because if it goes to your brain, if your insulin doesn't make it right away into visceral fat, but oil always represents, also Kabbalistically, it represents chokhmah. That's why it says it says in the Talmud that having olive oil makes you smart. Having olives causes forgetfulness, destroys your brain. Having olive oil makes you clever.
I hate olives. I like olive oil, but I hate olives. So I never.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's good that you remember that.
I couldn't tell you also I've eaten an olive, like an actual just olive.
If you would have had olives, you would have forgotten that you ate an olive.
Yeah.
Causes forgetfulness, which is a general interesting thing. That Judaism is very, very into not doing anything that causes forgetfulness. Yeah, because it's a mitzvah in the Torah to remember Torah. You're not allowed to forget Torah. So in Judaism, we do everything in our power in order to keep our mind sharp, and that's why even in Kabbalah there are certain things, like for example, not to get undressed two clothes together. Not to dress two clothes together. Not undressed. It says in Kabbalah not to put on two clothes together, like your undershirt. Two clothes.
Like you put on your, let's say like you put on like
Your
yeah, like a
underpants
shirt
and
where you have like a
pants
shirt, you
together.
had a shirt and undershirt together, you just put them like that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
One garment
I
at a
tell you
time.
not to do that.
Is it true that you can't sleep with shoes by your head when you're sleeping?
That part I don't remember, but not to
Forget
use
this.
clothing under your head. That I do remember. Not to use clothing as a pillow. But going back, I don't want to go off. I just wanted to mention the idea that in the Torah there's a prohibition of forgetting Torah, and therefore Judaism has a lot of things. Like for example with olives, you don't have olives only if you put some olive oil on top of the olives, because olives causes forgetfulness. But going back, olive oil causes wisdom. So we see a clear connection between olive oil and wisdom, and the celebration is connected to fire, to light, and olive oil. And we see also something very interesting, that it's the whole celebration of Chanuka is to illuminate the darkness. It's first of all it's in the winter, then it is when it gets dark, which kabbalistically that's the hardest hours of the night. I don't know if you're aware that Kabbalists try to go to sleep very early because they don't want to be awake those hours and wake up at midnight to learn and daven and serve God, because midnight the sun starts getting back into your.
It's ascending.
It's coming closer to
Yeah.
you, right? It's starting to come into the horizon of your horizon. I don't want to go into now the explanation of it, but the first part of the night, that's why you also see most of the sins in the world happens in the beginning of the night. That's when the bars,
The shuk.
the shuk, and the beginning of the night is a time of the klipa. But it's very interesting. It's not so much the beginning of the night; it's the time of the shkia. When it starts getting dark, that's even more. That's why it says that every day that the time of mincha is considered to be a time of din, a time of judgment. And Shabbos, which is connected to the world to come, Shabbos, it's a taste of the world to come. So therefore, the time of mincha is the holiest time of the Shabbos. That's why we sing the gunim and we say a maimer at the end of Shabbos.
Actually, I was learning about like the what's it called? Learning something about that. This the sikha. I was learning in Yiddish with Shner. It was funny, like ha'olam hazeh, the world to come. I learned about the
Olam haba.
Olam haba, Olam hazeh is this world. Sorry.
Exactly.
Olam
Olam hazeh is
Olam
this
haba.
world. Olam haba is the world to come.
Yeah.
So basically, we see something. And then it's outside. Kabbalistically, outside is the place of the klipa. If you do it in the house, you do it on the right, on the left. Also, when you do it outside, you do it on the left side. Left is connected to klipa. Yeah, the opposite of the mezuzah. The mezuzah is the right side. Is the left side. The custom is also to try to light it low, under 10 tefachim. If you remember, the Gemara in Sukkah says that the Shechina never came down so low. So the under 10 tefachim is considered to be very close to the earth. It's very earthy, very.
But what's wrong? We live on the third floor of like a building. Like we live on the third floor. How could we never below 10 floors on the floor?
So you do it at your door. Also the floor everywhere is considered to be impure. That's the reason why we wear shoes. Kabbalistically, the idea of shoes is to separate between you and the floor. The shoes is considered to be very very special, also spiritual. The Gemara says that a person that doesn't have shoes should sell everything that he has and have shoes.
Wow.
So Kabbalah says, you should never go without shoes. Says the Gemara. So Kabbalah says that the reason for it, the Kabbalistic hidden reason behind that Gemara, is that because you want a separation between you and the ground. That is.
You start wearing Crocs around the.
Yeah, Crocs is also okay. Crocs is also a separation.
Because I walk barefoot in the building. I'm not proud of it.
Nice. Barefoot. How black were your feet after walking barefoot in my note?
Very.
Yeah.
Well, no, only if you go down. So one time I was doing laundry and I walked barefoot down to the second floor, and that's when I came back and the bottom of my feet were just black.
Right.
If on the third floor, it's usually fine.
So again, how many things do we have Chanuka that are connected to the evil side? Outside, on the left side, lower than 10 tefachim, the time in the day, and to a certain extent, this one doesn't say Chassidus Chabad. I didn't see no Chabad, but it's quoted in other Chassidus that it's in the winter. It's in the darkest time of the year. Kabbalistically, there's a reason why there's no holidays during the winter. Did you realize that all of our holidays are in times when there's no rain?
Right.
We never, when in our holidays, we never say the winter blessings asking for rain. Why? Because Kabbalistically, the way it works is that all three holidays are when there's sun, when there's revelation. The last day of Sukkot we start asking for rain. Not even the last day of Sukkot. On Shmini Atzeres we start asking for rain, right? And that's called in Kabbalah Chodshei Ha'ibur, the months of pregnancy, when we are, so to say, impregnated in the stomach of Ima, of mother, which is referring to Bina, which is referring to God, but the birth happens on Pesach. So we are in pregnancy. We already spoke about it once. That Kabbalistically, in pregnancy, the reason why the baby is with his head down and between his feet is because the brain is called. The brain, the intelligence is lower than the emotions, when the head is under the torso. So winter is a dark time. Winter is a dark time. And the rabbinical, like Boaz said before, the rabbinical holidays were given to us in the winter to reveal godliness in the darkest place. The end of the Second Temple, when there was really so much Hellenism amongst Jews, and the Greeks came, and then the Romans came, the rabbis prepared us. How are we going to illuminate the darkness? And therefore, the holiday took a whole spiritual aspect. It's not so focused on eating, even though we have donuts and there's a custom to eat some milchiks on Chanuka, sphinge.
Sphinge is greasy.
Yeah, there are things that are connected to oil, but again, there's no halachic obligation to wash on Hanukkah. Why? Because it's mainly a spiritual holiday. It's a holiday where you're standing over there by the menorah, and we're going to see that idea stems from the high priest in the temple, and you're igniting your soul. You're standing over there with your candle, you're lighting the candles, you're lighting different aspects of your soul. That's the idea of number 8 that we're going to discuss. 8 is like Boaz says, there's the actual Torah, that's the details, putting on tefillin, putting on mezuzah, eating kosher, the whole thing. But then there's the essence of Torah. That's the number 8. Anything that has details, the completion of all the details together is 7. When there's 8, it's beyondness. It's the essence of things. Hanukkah, what we want to ignite is the essence. And that is very, very important. Jewish culture is not necessarily a halacha, but Jewish culture is a way of fighting the darkness of the world. I'm talking about true Jewish culture. And we're going to see that there are different types of aspects in Torah that are also connected to the idea of culture. We're going to see about Reb Chanina ben Dosa. We see Reb Chanina ben Dosa was a big Tana, but don't see any halachas from him in the whole Shas. You don't see any halachas from him. What do you see about Reb Chanina ben Dosa? Who remembers, where do we mention Reb Chanina ben Dosa in the Mishnah or in the Gemara? His power of prayer. You remember in the 5th chapter of Brachot? His power of
Barely.
prayer. What?
Barely. I remember it was in the Mishnayos in Brachos.
What does it say over there about him? That when people would come and ask him to pray for a sick person, he would go and pray, and then it would come back and say, I know if he's going to live or is going to die based on the success of my
Prayers.
Based on the success of my prayers. So basically you see that amongst Jews, some people are very good in the learning, in the intelligence, but what does Chanina ben Dosa do? Chanina ben Dosa is not a teacher of Torah, but what is he? What is the task of a person?
He's a Baal Tefillah.
Exactly. He is a person, the people come to him when they have a problem, they ask him to pray. What is his task? His task is to reveal godliness in the world. When you come to such a person and he could tell you if the guy is going to stay alive or not, what does he do to you? What does he do to your psyche? When you hear a miracle that the Rebbe made, what does it tell you? That there's something beyond. There's something beyond
reason.
Beyond reason, beyond reality.
That was good about the Greeks. There's stuff that the Jewish feels beyond reason.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's the problem in
Egypt.
Greek. Exactly. And that's sometimes something that we need. Not everything could be fought with reason. Some people think that reason is the beginning of everything and the end of everything. Judaism believes that there's something beyond reason. Anyone over here ever read Mein Kampf by Hitler?
I mean, I've read, but I've seen summaries of some sections, yeah.
I also didn't read the whole book. It's a very boring book. But I tried to understand what he had against Jews.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting.
You like the teachings.
He says the Jew thinks that he's beyond nature. And I'm pinching myself. Whoa, which chassidus did he learn? How does he know that? The Jews think that they're beyond nature. And he was all about nature. He was all about being
Reason.
fit. about reason. That's why it doesn't make any sense. Why does society have to pay for handicapped people? Handicapped person, just chuck him off a building. Who cares? Or anyone that is a bit has a problem. It's all about reason. It's all about being
Natural
fit.
selection.
It's about natural selection. And then comes the Jew and says, we have values. We have light. And the Chanuka is the victory of light. And that victory of light is connected to something that's beyond reason. Connection to that essence. Connection to the Reb Chanina ben Doisa part.
That's
To be continued tomorrow. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, everyone.